To put it on the tripod or put
It's
the
not
tripod
about
on the floor.
but it's not about the tripod. It's about the Wi-Fi. It's about the connection right now.
What about the light? Are you gonna put that light on in front of you?
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Waiting. Hey, Krista. This is my very fancy ring light, aka the sunlight. Hello. As soon as Caterina is on, I will Ooh, no, that's not her. Oops, cancel that. As soon as Caterina is here, I will invite her. Caterina, where are you? Yes, Krista is here. Krista is here. For Caterina. Let's see where she is. Okay, she says she's here. So I'm looking. Hold on, I'm gonna tell her to send me a request. What's funny about this is, so for a lot of people, they've never done it before. So I'm like popping a lot of cherries, I guess, for people who, she's gonna figure it out. Have faith, people. She says she sees an empty chair, so she's looking at the old video. We're gonna get here, guys. I told her to log on and log off and log back on. Okay, thank you, Krista. Oh, thanks, John. It's this lamp I have on me. Instagram, sometimes it's confusing because there's stories, right? So you click on it, and then on the right, it's the live. So you have to make sure, yes, Caterina, we know each other because of my friend Krista Vernoff, who is the showrunner for Grey's Anatomy and Station 19. While I'm waiting for her, why don't you guys tell me where you are in the world? Where are you in the world? Whew. Ah, there she is. Okay. I think it's happening. I think it's happening. Oh my God, you did it.
Hi.
Hold on one second.
I did it. That was challenge. That was some challenge for me. This is my
so proud of you.
My first or second time that I've ever done anything live.
I know.
I think my first time doing
everyone.
it live.
Yes.
How are you?
For many people, for Krista's on here, for many people, I am basically I say I'm popping a lot of cherries because I'm like the person that initiates
you're my first.
you.
You're my first. And by the way, Krista, thank you, Krista. Krista literally was texting me like 2 seconds ago, and she was like, Caterina! Across the digital voice.
People were like, she can do this.
She was like, you have to touch her picture.
Reach out and touch me. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hello, I'm well. How are you?
I'm surviving over here with a toddler, and I got a lot of coffee, and just over here trying to raise excuse my language, a shit ton of money to feed people.
So tell me about that. Imagine
I would love
someone with 3 children just crawled out of a hole and doesn't know anything about what's going on in the world.
I thought you said I have 3 children. I was like, girl, no. Oh, no.
So tell me what you're doing.
Mazel tov on 3 kids because I can barely handle 1. So
I didn't say I was handling it.
I know you didn't, but I am because you're here. So there.
I'm here. I'm here.
So, okay, what I'm doing is I've created this community over the years of just really, of people saying I got you to each other and being that for each other and listening. And so maybe a month ago now, no sense of time, I did a post on my Instagram that said, do you have food to eat? This is a literal question.
Right.
Because I knew people would be honest, and I knew people that didn't, other followers would jump in. I just knew. And that's what happened. And so people, said, like, I don't. And other followers were Venmoing them and sending them groceries, and it was just really beautiful.
Wow.
And one of my followers got another one of my followers $300 worth of groceries. Her name was Dana Mondello. And then she reached out to me and she said, you know what? That felt really good. And I got some time on my hands. I'm not working. I want to keep going. Can I start you a GoFundMe for this? Because right now this is just like people sending you donations. And I said, okay. And then I did a live workshop and people donated.
Right.
And then I thought, well, why don't I start doing Instagram live chats and have people donate? And also my Dork It Out dance challenge. And now there's like $100,000. And basically,
wow, $100,000?
Yeah, right now it says in the GoFundMe there's 98,000, but there's 5,000 that's about to be deposited. My friend, she's an actress, Amy Jo Johnson. She did a concert and raised 5,000.
Wow.
So what we're doing is there's a team of volunteers, and it's proving to be a ton of work, but we're getting them $100 gift cards to use for groceries. And
so how do people apply for the gift cards? How do you get the gift cards if you don't have food?
Great question. So we very quickly created a website, and there's an application form, which we've since paused because there was 1,200 applicants and we didn't have enough money. We almost do for that many.
Yeah.
We'll start taking them again once we have more money, which that's the reason you coming on helps, because you have a gaggle of fans and you have people that, listen to you. So anytime I have someone that has, a platform, it helps because it just gets more money sent. The more money we have, the more we can get. They've applied. Right now it's not open, but it will be again.
What's the website once it's open? What's the website so that people can apply?
It's on beinghuman2020.com.
And beinghuman2020.
Yeah, hold on, I'll show you. It's
okay. Guys,
I just ran to my office.
Okay.
That's my book.
Over
and
the
so
back.
it's on Being Human 2020 with a 2020 on the end. And
can I ask you a little bit about your book?
And what did you say?
Do you want to tell me a little bit about your book?
Sure. You're kind of pixelated and I read lips, but I think you said, do I want to tell you a little about my book?
A little bit about your book. Yeah.
Well, my book it came out in June and it became a national bestseller. It's the story of my wacky life and basically, in a nutshell, how I wanted to die and I didn't. Very depressed. And and it's not a happy ending. What did you say?
I'm glad you didn't.
I am too. It's not a happy ending in the sense of like, and now I'm perfect. It's just I'm still here, and it's and it talks about my hearing loss and grief and the fact that I waited tables at the same trendy Hollywood restaurant for almost 14 years on Robertson Boulevard across from the Ivy. It's not there anymore.
Wow. Yeah.
The newsroom.
Right.
And I lead these workshops around the world, and it's kind of intertwined with my life story, and
are the workshops kind of having to do with accepting, our hard times and our failures and our depression and our imperfections, and they kind of that themed thing?
Yeah, and so in the workshop I use, the way I got out of the restaurant is I became a yoga teacher, and I became a well-known yoga teacher, and I use that as a way in. So the workshops combine body movement, not even like, it doesn't matter if you've ever done yoga. It's just a vehicle to get people to open up.
Yeah.
And then I do that, and then I give them prompts, and they write, and I share my story. So the idea behind it is really just fierce listening and bearing witness. So people share out loud. And a big part of it I call dorking it out. So, I'll play like Don't Stop Believing, and everyone will sing and we'll dork it out.
Right.
And it's so freeing and so fun and such a way to stop caring so much about what other people think.
Right.
And so that's why I started the Dork It Out Challenge, which you'll see some of your colleagues and co-stars have done.
They've done the takeout challenge. I think that's one of the really interesting things about quarantine is the actual physical. I mean, we're so connected digitally now, and kind of our brains can, reach across the entire world and touch each other in this digital way. But our physical bodies have been kind of restricted to this very localized space and separated physically from other people. And just like the impact that that's having on people's psyches and how we're feeling the hunger for each other, and we're feeling the need for that kind of human contact and that human touch, and it's happening in formats like this in a whole different way. But like,
give me your hand
Exactly.
No, you're right. I love that you use the word hunger. It really is like I'm grateful because even though they're driving me bananas, but I have my son and my husband, but my best friend said, like, I haven't hugged anyone in 40 days. Or
it's wild, right?
I know.
And isn't there some statistic about like needing 12 hugs a day?
Yeah, I don't know what the exact number is, but
I was talking to a friend the other day, and they were talking about needing 12 hugs a day, or I forget if it's 10 or 12.
It's a random number. 12.7 hugs a day.
Right, but they were saying like, try it during quarantine. Like, whoever is in your house, like, make sure that you're getting your 12 hugs in. And if that means like it's coffee in the morning, let's hug.
No, I think it's a great idea.
Let's hug.
So first of all, can you please say hi, Brazil, Caterina?
Oh, hello, Brazil.
And hello, Israel. They're just,
And hello, Israel.
Okay. You have fans all over the world. So
I have pretty incredible. I mean, gosh, Grey's Anatomy has incredible fans. Krista Vernoff and her words have incredible fans, and I'm so grateful for.
No, but I told you on the phone the other day. I said, I must get, no joke, 20 messages a day. I was on with Pink, and they were just like, when is Caterina coming on? I'm like, yo, I'm on with Pink right now.
That's so sweet. I feel like Amelia is a pretty. In terms of your book, actually, in terms of what you're talking about, Amelia's she's an amazing character because I think she is clearly
human.
She's very human. She's got, that thing about, the cracks are where the light comes in. And I think she is so aware. She's so clearly full of cracks in her like facade of perfection. And, light is just kind of pours in and out of her. And I think a lot of people can really relate to, there have been so many times in her life, and Krista has captured it so beautifully, both Krista and Shonda, but where she's been overwhelmed and blindsided and, in over her head and, on the verge of falling apart. And she has this incredible resilience, and she kind of keeps getting up and doing her best, knowing that is not perfect. And I think a lot of people relate to that, or at least have hope in it. Like,
isn't that a beautiful metaphor for right now? Actually,
yeah,
like doing your best, knowing it's not perfect, and doing it anyway.
Yeah,
like I'm not doing this perfectly. Are you?
I couldn't even sign on to Instagram this morning.
I know. I'm really proud of you.
You were like, you have to log out and log on, and I was like, log out? How do you log out?
So yesterday, Jason George, who's like the kindest human on the planet beside you and Krista.
He's amazing.
And everyone. We were talking, and he's like, I want my people to know you. Log off and we'll go on mine. And we couldn't figure it out. We tried for 30 minutes. And he was on his live, and he's like, Jen's supposed to be hitting me up. And I'm yelling he can't hear me. And I'm going, I'm here.
Crying out in the darkness.
So playing Amelia must be so rewarding and also challenging and fun.
It's amazing. I can't believe I have had the privilege of playing her, and for so long. I mean, I've been playing her now for 10 years, and I think one of the
how many years has it been?
10.
Wow.
What? I started playing her on Private Practice. Regular. And I would do like guest spots over on Grey's Anatomy and come and visit Derek, who was my brother. And so I've taken her from like on Private Practice. She was this like, very kind of troubled and wayward young neurosurgeon. And she would wear like half tops and like huge platform heels. And be getting into all kinds of mischief. And we've kind of seen her, face challenges and face heartbreak and kind of overcome all of the, indignities of life and imperfections in herself. And she's really kind of like matured and mellowed into this very,
You froze. Is she frozen or is it just me? Oh, she left. Okay. We lost her. Okay. We'll go back. She's frozen. Okay. Get her back. She'll come back on and I'll get her. Oh, technology. No, she doesn't have a great connection. Erin, what do you want me to say? Hi from you. We'll wait till she's back on. I'm frozen? I'm frozen. She'll come back. Don't say that. So, you guys, I'm not even on Wi-Fi anymore. It doesn't work. I just go on 5G because I've given up on. There you go.
I'm here. Okay, the craziest thing just happened.
What?
My
Tell
phone.
us.
Maybe someone can tell me about this. My
you have
phone
to
is
put
cracked.
on Do Not Disturb.
No, it said there was a thermometer, and it said temperature. Your iPhone is too hot, and it
What?
needs
It's not
to
that
cool
hot
down.
out.
It's not even hot. I don't know what. It might be me.
You're too hot. You're too. But you were in the middle of saying all this great stuff, and you froze.
Where was I?
You were still talking, but
where was I when I froze?
You were saying just like you were saying she matured, and you were talking about Amelia, and
I think she's mellowed, and she's become like a beautiful person in a way that I think she could only get there through really kind of confronting and facing her her pain and facing her vulnerabilities and facing her flaws and facing herself in a way that I think the 12-step aspect of her journey is a huge part of. She's a sober alcoholic, an addict, and so she's very into the 12-step program that is AA, and I think the whole process of sobriety in that program, it's not just about not drinking and not using drugs. It's about emotional sobriety, and so I think she's had to confront herself in a way that most characters on television have not had to confront themselves. And it's resulted in this really, really beautiful, soulful person who is still flawed and is still kind of walking through it with her community. And so I think that people see that and they, and there's a lot of hope that like maybe they're lovable, even though they're a hot mess.
Oh my God, it makes me want to cry. I mean, that really is the message of my book. And let's just take the maybe out of it, right?
Right, exactly.
And the fact that you've had 10 years, that's like, it's really like a real life, transformation.
Well, that's the other amazing thing about Grey's Anatomy. And sorry, continue if you want, but I was gonna say, with Meredith's character, with Ellen's character, and with all of us, we've been on this show for so long, and I'm sure it's the same for the writers who are exploring different things, but people are actually seeing us like age and mature in real time.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
It's so cool, and especially I think in the life of women, like traditionally, I mean, in television in the past, before we kind of woke up and Me Too'd, so many of the stories that were available were stories about men, and women played kind of a peripheral role in the life of a man, and usually that woman showed up to be like window dressing, and and so her flaws and her aging and her all of those things were not a part of his journey. And so
Yeah.
in this format, we're actually seeing like the life in terms of Meredith and all of us, the life of women unfold.
I
And
love that.
yeah, and you know, changing from being kind of an object of the male gaze to like, no, this is the lines on my face are a story that I'm telling, you know, day by day and week by week and year by year over time, and I've earned them all, and each line is an episode of television.
I love that.
And the audience has been with us to see us
I love
earn all of
it.
that aging.
The other day I was doing a live with my friend. She's an actress. Her name's Allison Dunbar. And some commenter, I think I sent it to you, but some commenter with the name Troll99 wrote, "Look, it's Grandma's TED Talk." And I thought it was there. So I screenshot it. No, and I thought that's a great name for my new show. I just embraced it. It's Grandma's TED Talk.
Right. I think for me, you know, one of the amazing things about like being in the public eye and receiving criticism like that, or trolls, or you know, whatever, is you kind of get to disengage from the content of the comments at a certain point, and instead you just start going, oh, someone needed to be toxic, and you kind of like can count the number of times people needed to like lash out, but not really engage with the actual messaging that they're trying to hit you with. You know what I mean?
No, agree. And I'd say 99% of the time I don't, but that one was too funny not to pass
Totally.
up. Because first of all, my friend's just like, huh? I mean, it's just so, anyway, look, I'm 45 and I have an almost 4-year-old, and my friends who are my age, one of them has a grandkid. So like a grandma looks like whatever. But that was too funny. I mean, like, I thank that troll because that is just a great name. Grandma's TED Talk.
Grandma's TED Talk.
But yeah, most of them just block or not give the energy, or if I give the energy, it's for 5 minutes instead of like the rest of my life, or allowing it to shut me down.
And they're also like an opportunity to rethink, like, if that was supposed to be some sort of insult, you kind of get to go like, why would it be insulting to have birthed children and raised them for long enough that they could birth their own children? Like, you should give me a medal if you're, I mean, that's a huge compliment.
That's why I screenshot and I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? That's an insult? Bring it.
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, so, I do want to get to a couple. Someone did ask a great question. They said, which you kind of already answered. They said, what's your favorite part about playing Amelia?
Wait, can you ask me again? My dad was my papa just tried to FaceTime me, and so I had to.
No,
I'll call
they
him
said,
back after. He's real cute. He's been calling me every day.
You basically answered, but they said, what's your favorite part about playing Amelia?
Oh, yeah. I mean, okay, so I'll take it in another direction because I've answered like some of that. Another thing I love about being on a show where you have, she's such a multifaceted and dynamic character, and that is, oh my gosh, the writing is incredible on this show from the beginning. I mean, what they've done with these characters and how much they've made them like real humans is incredible. But one of the fun challenges about being on a show for this long, playing such a rich character, is that and I think some people get bored of this. They're like, oh, I've been on a show playing the same character for so long. But I actually find it like an amazing game to be like, okay, I have embodied this super fascinating woman, and then every script that you get places her in a new situation, right? And so you kind of get this like, okay, let's make a yoga analogy. You know, if you're doing like you know, the primary series or something, the postures are the same every time for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Right? So you could be like, oh, that's boring. I already memorized the series. I've done those postures before. But when you get into the flow of it and into the meditation aspect, you're like, every posture, every asana is a world. It's like a whole universe that you can
Absolutely
enter. And so so for me, each episode is like, okay, I'm going to go into this asana, into Amelia's body, and into this story, and see how it feels this time, and see, you know, with these words that Krista wrote, or with these, you know, this new situation that she's been placed in, how is she going to encounter it, and what is she going to discover about herself and the other person in the scene, and, you know, how will she be affected, and how will she change? And so that's been an incredible gift, not just, you know, career-wise, or for my life, like to be that present for.
I was just gonna say, that's such a beautiful, everything you're saying is such wisdom for life and for specifically now, but what you're saying essentially is, how about living our lives like that every single day? What a gift, right?
Right. Yeah, like if we can be in every moment of our life the way we are in an asana, where we're like so fascinated and like curious about like, okay, what if I do an external rotation? What if I do an internal rotation? Like, how does this affect my heart and my mind? How is this expanding and opening me and allowing me to be in communion with other people and with, you know, my higher power, or, you know, the universe? It's like we can really make every moment of our lives so exciting and dynamic.
I know. So you
but we need food to do that, and we need your campaign to get that food.
I know I'm so grateful you took this time, because I know, you know, having 3 kids is time consuming, and all that, you have so much going on right now, and obviously you are tech challenged a little. So you did it.
I have not prioritized that in my life up to this point, and I'm realizing that is one of the areas that I could focus on.
Should is an asshole. So
I like that.
Actually, that is the title. That was going to be the title of my next book. We're still playing with it, but that's the theme.
Ooh, I kind of like that.
Should is an asshole.
Yeah, because should is like a kind of shamey word. Should is like it is a shamey word. I was a good person, I should have done that. Or I should is an asshole. So when you catch yourself saying that, should is an asshole. Yeah. You know, my whole thing is don't be an asshole. I own that URL, and it's to yourself. You know, so like when you're shooting that URL.
I do. I own it. Don't be an asshole.net.
That's amazing.
I'm really moved by how many fans you have around the world and how much people love Amelia. I think that's such a testament. Really, she's a beloved character.
She's a beloved character, and I, you know, she's part of this whole web and network of amazing women and men that are our writers and our crew, Shonda and Krista and Debbie and Ellen and Betsy Beers and, you know, Allison. You know, it's a community and a family and a village, and I can't believe we've been able to impact so many people, and they have kept us here. Like there's this real symbiosis going on between the viewers and you know, the creators of the show.
Well, that's exactly what this project is. It's the same exact thing, and it's a symbiosis. It's you know, look, you coming on here and chatting with me, the people donating, the people asking for help, the volunteers, me. It's not just me doing this. You know, it's a whole. One wouldn't be possible without the other.
Right.
So I just think you're beautiful and amazing, and I'm so grateful that you took time out of your busy quarantine schedule.
And, I'm very busy. Woo!
You're
been pretty busy. I've kind of been busier than ever.
Same. Well, this project really, really blew up, and you know, I have no doubt. I decided we could get $1 million in there. I mean, it's slow, but like tomorrow, I have like one of the guys on Queer Eye. You know, so even if everyone donates $5, and some people will donate more, but we really can help a lot of people.
Thank you for taking this on.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a whole team of volunteers too, and it's a lot of work, but it's important, and eventually I'll get back to figuring out how to create income for my family. But for now, this feels good, and it gives me a purpose, and I think, you know, being of service is really the way I always want to live my life. So this is, for me, is a way that also I enjoy, you know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We will be in touch. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I literally don't know how to sign off.
You just hit end or you just hang up or
okay.
shut off your phone.
Everybody who tuned in, thank you so much, and I hope
they're all over the world. They're all over the world here for you. You guys donate and be good humans. You don't if you don't have the money to donate. I was talking to Jason George about this. It doesn't have to be monetary. Check in on people.
Yes.
Send your love, do other things. Keep liking these videos. Keep sharing, keep putting the energy out there. So thank you, Caterina.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye, Jen.
Bye.
Okay.